All right, so let's get started. I want to welcome everyone to Baseball Beyond Borders webinar series. These webinars are a way to stay connected with community while highlighting life beyond the foul lines. We will continue to offer our webinars series in alignment with our Moving Beyond 12 9-inning framework that connects student athletes' passions to their academic future. Baseball Beyond Borders, thank you for joining our village. Today, we are joined by a teammate, both in high school and in college, who happened to be a two-sport athlete at the Washington State University, a dear friend, Collin Henderson, CEO of Master Your Mindset. Welcome, Collin.
Buki, it's great to be here.
Yes. Should you have questions for Collin, we ask that you use the chat feature and we will work to accommodate all questions in the time available. So with that, Collin, I'm going to turn it over to you so we can learn about these 3 Ps.
Let's go. Thank you guys for tuning in, for showing up. Thank Buki. Thank you, Liz, for your time, for putting this together. Super excited. And I want you guys to think of this as a workout. We can't practice physically together as a group, but treat this time as a mental workout. We can train our body, our craft, and our mind. Most athletes just train their body and their craft, their skills, but what about training your mindset? So today is, don't just exercise, exercise. Don't just go to the gym, go to the mind gym. So it's time to get our mind right. Mind right, game tight, let's go. So, all right, today the learning objectives is this. The phrasing we're using during quarantine, this time is very unique. It's very different. So today is about giving you a toolkit to win the weight. That's the phrasing we're using. What are you doing to win the weight? This isn't going to last forever. This is a season. So treat this like an off season. But there is no off season. So we want to maximize this time and win the weight. And then also we want you to gain elite self-awareness. The number one mental skill is self-awareness. How aware are you on what you do to be successful? And then I'm going to help you define mental toughness. Get clear on those 2 powerful words, and then really dig into the main content. I'm going to teach you the 3 Ps of being resilient and taking action during adversity, challenge, change, and then build a plan. So think about, to execute, it's 3 steps. It's APA, awareness, plan, and then action. So today, just like you be lifting weights, you can't get stronger unless you lift. We're going to lift our mental weight. So this pen is like a barbell. So we have a handout available if you downloaded that. If not, get your notepad ready. Don't just think it, ink it. It's time to get our mental sweat on. And I love this verse. Do not conform to the patterns of this world. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You are limitless. The body has limits, but the mind is limitless. So I can't wait to help you strengthen the most powerful muscle, that 6 inches between your ears, that 3-pound mass, your brain. Let's make it count. So before I get into it, this is about me. Been married about 10 years, have 5 kids, 7 and under. So talking about mental toughness, man, I got to work on my mental toughness every day with 5 kids. Authored 5 books, played baseball and football at Washington State. My past life, I used to sell to doctors, surgeons, hospitals. I love pizza. Justin Bieber has my favorite new album. And The Good Place has been a show on Netflix that we've been liking. So a little quick overview about me. So let's do a quick physical warm-up. You know, we're not in a live room, so you try to get creative with these Zoom stuff. So I'm going to teach you guys a quick dance. It's super simple. You know, I have 5 kids, so I got dad jokes. I got dad dance moves. I'm going to teach you a dad dance move. We call it dab, X, flex. Hit him with the dab, X on him twice, and give him the flex. So there's a method to the madness. The dab, it's kind of trendy for me to do the dab. So the trendy, but the X to me is the X factor, is loving, serving, helping other people. When that's your focus in life, it gives you strength and those around you strength. I love the word synergy. So on the count of 3, baseball beyond borders, let's do it together. Ready? Dab, X, flex on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey, get some. Way to go. All right. Now we're going to do a mental exercise. You can't just train the body. You got to train your mind. So when you look at this image here in the chat, I'd like you to write so we can see, how many lines do you see in this image? Take a moment. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. How many lines do you see in this picture here? Maybe if you're watching with a parent or a friend, turn to a neighbor or a sibling. How many lines do you see in this image? Well, there's actually 3 lines. Most people think, Miles, we got to get Miles a book. I'm going to send Miles a book. There are actually 3 lines. There's the top, bottom, and the one in the middle. But our focus is often just like this image, because our focus is in the past. We can only see the past, our past mistakes, or this is how it used to be. And our focus is in the future, playing that what if game. What if this happens? What if I fail? What if we're not in quarantine? When can we play again? But what the peak performers have trained their mind to do is to be in the present moment. Shame lives in the past, fear lives in the future, but peak performance, happiness, the best version of you lives in the present moment. So right now, take a look down at your feet. Your feet are always present. Your eyesight is always present. Your sound is always present. What you feel on your body is always present. So take a moment right now and reflect. Take a deep breath in through our nose, out through our mouth. Our breath is always anchored to the present moment. But what's one thing you can see, hear, and feel? Do that exercise right now to train being in the present moment. Let's go. Great job. Peak performance is in the now. The best version of you is in the present moment. So we're like the only species that our mental focus is juggling the past and the future, where we got to train being present, train being right here. And I love the acronym WIN. It stands for what's important now. To win, what's important right now. The most important moment is the moment right in front of you. So self-awareness, I love this. This is from Billie Jean King, tennis great. She says, self-awareness is the most important thing towards being a champion. So how aware are you with your mindset? How aware are you with your behaviors, your habits? Are you aware of what you are consuming that could be negative, that's hurting you? And I always go back to this quote from the great Dr. King. And this is a quote that my dad taught me in 5th grade, coaching me for the Puyallup Rough Riders junior football. He printed out this handout to every one of my teammates. I had this on my room wall. And when I think about winning the weight, I go back to this amazing quote from a visionary, from a servant leader who had extreme faith. Faith and fear have a lot in common, but I'm going to choose faith every time. And he says the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. That's when we're tested. Our character is tested when things get hard, when they're not easy. So how are you showing up right now? Are you a victim, a victor, a hero, a zero, a winner, a whiner, a champ, a chump, a warrior, or a warrior? Excellence is a choice. Excellence is a decision. Excellence is an action. It's not a feeling. We're going to feel tired, down, afraid, but it's your actions in that moment that defines your character. So I know that you guys are built, you have great leaders and adults and teammates that love you. So let's choose now to act out of principle, not preference. Let's choose to act out of courage, not fear. So what is mental toughness? What is your definition of mental toughness? I'll give you an example. This is a picture of Tom Brady, the GOAT, 6 championships. This is the middle of the 3rd quarter in the Super Bowl versus the Falcons. He threw a pick-6 interception. The score is 28-3. No one's ever come back from down 10 in the big game ever in the history of the NFL. So what would your mindset be in that moment right there? What would you be thinking to yourself? What do you think most average men or women be thinking in that moment? The whole world's watching you and you're getting killed. The reason why T. Brady is the GOAT, because in that moment right there, he's not making excuses. He's not thinking, what do people think? What happens when I fail? He's thinking, what am I going to do right now? What's in my control to get my team down the end zone and score this next possession? That's all I can do. One possession, one play at a time. And he led his team back to get to overtime, and the Patriots won down 25 points in the second half. Let's go. That's mental toughness. To make it more simple, it's this equation. E plus R equals O. We can't control events or outcomes in our life. We have control in our response. And 100% of outcomes in our life are only 10% the event. It's 90% our response. So if you really look at the definition of mental toughness, how would you measure it? Like you would measure how much you can lift, how high you can jump, how fast you can run. I don't care about those stats. I care about this stat right here. How you respond to adversity, challenge, change, and success. That's the definition of mental toughness. So how has your response been in this challenging time? Are you making excuses? Are you a victim? Are you putting things off? Are you being lazy? I hope that you have the mental skills, the emotional skills to use this time to get better. And here's another example. So that's an in the moment example. What about like a longer macro? That was a micro perspective. This is a macro, a longer time frame. I have a free book. Anybody who can tell me who this young lady is on the screen. I've authored 5 books. Let's go. Who wants a book? I'll give you a hint. She was the elephant in the movie Sing. Bookie, you know who this is?
Is that Tori Kelly?
Boom! Coach Bookie gets a book. Tori Kelly. Did you know that Tori Kelly, her dream as a young kid was to be a singer, to be on MTV, on the radio, have her own album? She did Star Search as a little kid, didn't make it. She actually got signed to a label in 2007, didn't work out. The manager and the label, they didn't agree on the sound. In 2010, she went on American Idol and did not make it to the top 25. So again, what should I do in this moment? So she, again, looked at this adversity, failure's feedback. Fail stands for a first attempt in learning. She learned to play instruments. She honed her craft. She started posting videos on YouTube. In 2013, she got signed by the same manager that worked with Bieber. 2015 made her first album, did okay. But in 2018, she again changed, evolved. She found her voice. She made a gospel album and won 2 Grammys in 2018. So success is not a straight line. Success looks like this. Abraham Lincoln failed 8 elections. Steph Curry wasn't an all-star until year 5. This is the measure of greatness. Keep showing up, keep bouncing back. Event plus response equals outcome. And I think of Iron Man. I think of Stark gets kidnapped by these terrorists. He's in this hole, he's in this cave, and they're saying, you make us a missile or you're gonna die. We put this thing in your chest. But so like, what do you do when things get hard? He used this time to innovate. He used this time to create a better version of himself during this adversity. So my lesson to you right now is adversity is life's golden ticket if you choose to use it the right way. Adversity is life's golden ticket to take you to a place you could have never gone if you choose to use it. This is your power. Don't waste this gift. To win the weight, it's time to grow. It's time to roll up our sleeves. It's time to put in that work, because I know this to be true. God put the best things in life on the other side of fear. So let's use this time to learn, evolve, get better, and be of service to others. So I'm going to skip this video just for time's sake. So we're going to jump into the 3 Ps of resiliency. Now, Buki, we should give them a history lesson. The rap game in the 90s, it was Bad Boy on the East Coast. On the West Coast, it was Death Row. Down in New Orleans, they had Cash Money with Lil Wayne. Drake eventually got on there. But in the mid-late 90s, there was this another label called No Limit, No Limit Soldiers. P, let me hear you say, So I'm about to teach you, this is Master P, the founder of No Limit, Master P. So we're going to master 3 Ps today. We're going to get our mind right today. So we're going to really flex that mental muscle, get our mental sweat on, and develop a plan right now. So don't just think it, ink it. Either you have your handout or get your notes ready. Let's build a plan to take action to win the weights and build this resiliency muscle, which we can train. So what do you see in this image? What do you guys see in this image right here? Maybe in the chat, let us know what you're seeing in these 2 images right here. Buki, what do you see, Buki?
I see a fawn or deer.
Yeah. A deer head, a Jeep logo. What else? We got Ethan, deer head, Jeep logo. We got Miles, a deer head, and a seal. Okay. You're right. But did you know that this is the same picture, just flipped upside down? It's the exact picture. So I love talking about this first P, which is perspective. Have you trained your mind to be an optimist? Have you trained your mind to find the good in any scenario? Or is your mind trained to look at all the bad stuff? Is your mind trained to hunt the bad stuff? We want to train our mind to hunt the good stuff. The number one mental skill in life is self-awareness, but I think a close second is perspective. And let's do a quick exercise. Let's pause for 1 second. I want you to look around your room. How many blue things can you find? 5 seconds. Ready, set, go. Okay, stop. Everyone's eyes shut. Eyes shut. How many green things did you see during that exercise? I got you. Eyes open. So it's this concept, what you focus on, you will find. Thoughts become things. Energy flows where focus goes. What you resist persists. What do you choose to focus on? The winners and the champions of the world, they're hunting the good stuff. I've never seen a pessimist change the world. Dr. King was an optimist. I have a dream. This optimistic lens, I'm seeing something good from this. So have you trained your mind to be an optimist? But I do want to teach you a little bit of brain science. We all have this internal critic. I say there are two yous, the creative, that's the best version of you, that's how God sees you, versus the critic. And brain science tells us that 80% of human thoughts are negative. So the human brain is designed to survive, not thrive. It's designed to survey the environment and look for threat, danger, and risk. But we are suffering now what Dr. Michael Gervais calls FOPO, fear of other people's opinions. What are people thinking about what I'm doing? So I love this quote from the great Marcus Aurelius, Rome leader: the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. So what I want you guys to do, a part of the self-awareness, is, can you recognize a common negative thought? Can you recognize a trigger that is going down this negative path? And every thought is like a seed. What seed are you going to water? And your thoughts influence your feelings, your emotional state, and your biochemistry, which influences how you perform. So which voice are you going to give the power to? So we teach to press the reset button. If you recognize a negative thought, say, that's my ancient critic. That's not the real me. Just stop it in its tracks. If you recognize things in your life and your environment, like watching the negative news all the time, or negative people, or watching negative shows or programming, if that's going down a negative path, you have the power to stop it. But have what Dr. Heidi Grant calls an if-then plan. If this happens, then I'll do this. This is proven to help with goal attainment by 300%. So let's use a classic baseball example. I was teaching this reset system. I give bracelets away in my workshops. Press the reset button, recognize fear, failure. The umpire makes a bad call, or something happens at school. Don't let 1 minute turn to a bad day. Don't let 5 minutes turn to a bad day. You have the power to take control of your mindset and your actions. Your behaviors are important in that moment. So have your reset phrase, a reset word. And my reset phrase is, I'm not defined by this. I have some athletes that put their hands on the diaphragm and take a slow, deep breath and say, I got this. So that language is influencing your behaviors, and what you say to yourself has 10 times the power versus what anyone says to you. So I taught this to a baseball team, a youth baseball team, and they're in the state championship. They had no hits in the first 3 innings, and their second baseman, Max Erickson's like, everybody press the reset button. Everyone reset. We're not defined by this. It's our response. Like, he was bringing the heat. You want to be useful, you got to be juiceful, but use the language and use the right tools. So everyone pressed the reset button. They scored 20 runs that game and hit 8 home runs in that same game. So you're not defined by this, it's your response. And have a language and have a tool to reset when you recognize negative thinking, when something bad happens, choose to be like the great Dr. King, and that's when you're measured. That's the measure of greatness, not when things are easy, when things get hard. So, are you a fountain or a drain? Attitudes are contagious. Energy flows where focus goes, like I said. Are you a vitamin or a virus? What language? How are you treating people? Harvard did some research on the power of language. For every one negative comment, you need 5 positive comments just to balance one negative comment. Research out of Georgetown, bad is stronger than good. Negativity is a multiplier 4 to 7 times versus being positive. So it's critical in these challenging times for resiliency is what language are you using internally and externally? What are you consuming? Is it negative or positive? You need 5 positive comments just to balance one negative comment. So that perspective is crucial. So what do you think comes first? The chicken or the egg? What do you think comes first? Is it I need success first, then I'll be happy? Or is it happiness first, then I will find success? Which one do you think? In the chat, let me know. Is it 1 or is it 2? Do I need this external thing to be happy, or is it can I find happiness within to attract success and create success? Geraldo, Miles, Ethan, great job. Yes, it's 2. Dr. Sean Acor, researcher of happiness, his #1 life mission is to research happiness. His research found that it's not success then happiness. The ballers in life, it's I'm going to choose gratitude and happiness first, and they show that that attracts success faster and sustains it longer. You have to train your brain to be positive, just like you work out your body. And gratitude is like broccoli for your brain. It's like doing curls for your brain. Troy Aikman's life goal was to win the Super Bowl and be the MVP. In '93, it happened. After he won the award, he's in his hotel room. He says, I was bawling my eyes out. He says, I realized it didn't change anything. I said, is this it? I almost felt worse because it didn't change how I felt. I was almost more empty. He wrote an article that was published. He says, I didn't realize that, hey, it's the process is the reward, not the outcome. Because I missed out on this powerful thing of gratitude. And when I'm working with young performers, I have them tell me, well, what does the word gratitude mean to you? And they don't know that word, so we have to pull up Siri. I'm not kidding you. We pull up Siri, and Siri says the act of being thankful. But if you look at brain science, what it shows us is gratitude lowers stress. It lowers cortisol. It boosts your immune system to fight disease and illness. Negativity and pessimism destroys your immune system. It lowers your blood pressure. It's been proven to give you more grit. It lowers anxiety and depression. It attracts success. It makes you be a better friend. You sleep better. So my challenge to you today, Baseball Beyond Borders, is do you have a gratitude practice? I do a gratitude walk every day. Before my eyes open, I do a gratitude checklist of what I have. So when you wake up in the morning, do you focus on what you don't have, or do you focus on what you have? So take a moment today after this training is write down a gratitude checklist and go to that list when you're feeling doubt, when you're feeling fear. That's just as real as the bad stuff. But I like to say, hunt the good stuff. At dinner, I train my family. We play what is called happy dinner. We go around the room and everyone says one thing that they're happy about. And then we count to 3. 1, 2, 3. We say happy, and we play and we make it into a game. So find ways to find the good stuff. Lower your threshold for gratitude. Now, also with this lens is focus on what you can control. That's a measure of being mentally tough and resilient. Is you focus on what's in your control. So boats don't sink from water outside the boat. Why don't you watch this now? Boats sink when water gets inside the boat. So are you letting negative things that are out of your control sabotage your performance? So an exercise I do with pro athletes, college athletes, business professionals is I teach them frame your focus. Outside of this frame, what is out of your control? Stop giving that the power. Like we can't control when this COVID-19 is going to end. I can't control when we're going to get back playing. I can't control that we're doing school remotely. And then we write, what's in my control? What's in my control is my attitude, is my effort, is my self-talk, is my body language, is being of service to others. That's in my control. What champions do is they focus on what's in their control. So block out the negativity and make a checklist of what's in my control and dominate that list. That is mental toughness, and that is being resilient. Okay, now the number 2P is priorities. In the moments of crisis, in the moments of challenge and change, this is where leadership and breaking down the essentials for your performance is important. Many people major in minor things and they don't do the right thing. They're busy, but they're not productive. So our production is critical. So I like to say, have a bias for action. And I look at, in times of, crazy times with our health and the history of the world, Isaac Newton in the 1600s, when he was quarantined, this is when he was in isolation, that invited creation and then innovation. So he invented theories of calculus and gravity during this time of quarantine. So are you getting better or worse during this time? So I'm going to give you 5 essentials I want you guys to dominate to win the weight. And this is Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. She's the wealthiest female entrepreneur in the world. And she has a lot of great quotes. But I love listening to a podcast. She was asked, Sarah, you've built an empire. You're successful. You have a great family. You have mentored women around the world. What's your secret to success? And her response was phenomenal, and I did not see it coming. She says, it was a question that my dad asked me and my brother every day after school. Most parents ask us after school, how was your day? What did you learn? What did you do? He said, but every week my dad asked me and my brother one question. It was this: did you fail today? And if we said no, he was sad, because he said we weren't trying new things. We weren't courageous. We weren't attempting to get better. And it's this concept: get comfortable being uncomfortable. Comfort zone and growth do not coexist. So she said, my mindset was trained to not fear failure and to attack fear. So are you trying new things? Are you being disciplined with your behaviors and your actions? So the 5 that I really teach during this time is number 1 is we should dominate our sleep patterns and habits right now. The pro athletes I work with, it's not who's grinding. Everybody grinds. It's who is recovering the best. Sleep is the secret sauce. When you sleep, your body produces HGH. That's a banned substance. There's science out of Stanford. The basketball team and the swim team improved their speed. Basketball players were more accurate when they got an extra hour and a half of sleep. Dr. James Moss, who is an expert in sleep, he says teenagers need 9.15 hours of sleep. So my question to you is, are you up till 2 a.m. on Netflix? Are you on your phone dinking around, looking at the new dance move or looking on the IG, looking at YouTube? Have that discipline to recover like a champion. Because if you have like 5 hours sleep or less 5 days in a row, the scientists show us that it's like driving a car drunk. So you're not focused, you're not clear. So your mama told you to get sleep, and so is Coach Collin. Coach Collin says, let's win and be disciplined in getting your sleep. All right. The next one is your fitness. We need to move well. Are you staying active physically? You can't practice normally, you can't go to the gym, but can you do some things to keep your fitness on point? Using body weight, running hills. And when you get your heart rate above 120, 130, it's like taking an antidepressant drug. It's so helpful for your mindset, for your wellness. So remember to move well. The third thing is your skills. What are you doing to hone in your craft? At school, whatever sports you're playing, don't use this time to just take a break. What can you do to take, some time each day, carve in your routine to work on your skills? I love number 4 is connection. Human connection. The human species, in our DNA and our wiring, we have to have 3 things. We look for shelter and safety. We look for food and human connection. It's a survival tactic. When you connect, your brain produces what's called oxytocin. And oxytocin is the bonding trust chemical. We can't get oxytocin on Instagram and Facebook. That's not real connection. So Facebook, lives or FaceTiming, or I had a buddy who's challenging himself to call 5 people a day, hear someone's voice, reach out to your people. Don't forget that you need real human connection, not just texting, hearing someone's voice. And I love the number 5 is innovation. How can you use this time to innovate? We all say, oh, I don't have time. There's no time. We have, school and practice and all these other club things that we're in. But do you have the discipline to take this time to innovate and get better? So I would challenge you guys to really work on those few things and use this time to win the weight and get your plan. If you want to take a quick screenshot, here are some podcasts I'd love you guys to check out. Mine is Master Your Mindset. I love the science of success, impact theory, finding mastery, school of greatness. So get your mental sweat on and carve out time to innovate and get better and smarter. So the last one we're going to talk about is process. The last P is the power of process. The language I use when I'm working with pro and college athletes is focus on the root, not the fruit. We get off track by focusing on outcomes, results. What do people think? Stats, accolades. That's not in our control. What champions do is they focus on the root. I say, hey, be a bamboo baller. I'm trying to be a bamboo baller because you look at the bamboo tree, when you put it in the ground and you water it, nothing grows above ground for 5 years. But it's actually growing underground. The roots are getting stronger. It's getting deep. It's building its power. And after 5 years, it hits a tipping point, compound effect. It grows like 90 feet in like 5 weeks. So when we say trust the process, that's what we're talking about. And design routines and habits. Behaviors precede success. Did you check that out? Your behaviors precede success. So it's your daily routines. It's your actions. I like to say, hey, show me your habits. I'll show you your future. Success is no magic pill. So I teach the story of Fred Taylor. Fred Taylor, his first 3 or 4 years in the league, he couldn't stay healthy. They called him Fragile Fred. And he's going into his contract year, and he worked with some of his coaches, like, what do I need to do to stay healthy? So they researched what the healthy players did, and they said, Fred, we need you to change 2 of your habits. Number 1 is show up to the facility 2 hours early, and then take an ice bath after practice. He says, well, what do I do when I get there early? It's like, well, we don't know. That's what the healthy guys do. But it's created this reaction, this chain reaction, where he was getting treatment. He was eating a healthy breakfast. He was lifting weights. He was watching film. This is what I call your MITs, your most important tasks. Have you identified your 3 MITs for the day? For Fred Taylor, he had 2. He just changed 2 habits. He was a Pro Bowl player that year, played 47 games in a row, and is an all-time rushing leader for the Jacksonville Jaguars by changing 2 habits. So what do you need to do each day to win the day? And your EPAs are your energy pulling activities. Can you identify negative stuff in your environment or negative things in your life that are holding you back? Eliminate those. It's like saying, I ate a bag of chips, but I ate 3 apples. It doesn't stop the fact that you ate a bag of chips, but you ate 3 apples. Let's just take out the negative stuff. It's not just what the best players and athletes do. It's also what they don't do. So have that awareness to recognize what are things pulling my focus out. So the last thing I'll ask you is, this 160 is how many hours we have in a week. So I'm going to ask you, what are you doing to maximize your 168? Design beats willpower. Don't find yourself, build yourself. Don't find yourself, create yourself. Excellence is a choice. Excellence is not a feeling. Excellence is an action. Beyonce and Jeff Bezos have the same 168 as you, but they're not wasting a moment. They're not wasting a day. What are you doing to win the weight and maximize your 168? So I'm grateful for you guys. I love you guys so much. So the call to action today is fill out your plan. It's awareness, plan, and then the application. That is the equation of transformation, and doing it every single day. Be a bamboo baller. Maximize the 168. Shift that perspective. Know your priorities. Execute those daily. and focus on the process, not the pressure. The process, not the prize. The pursuit is happiness. And I love this verse in the Bible. It says, be careful about what you think. Your thoughts run your life. So you have the power to take control of your mind, change your mindset, change your life. So my challenge is to identify a let's go buddy. My two favorite words, Buki, are let's go. Not I go by myself. We go together, synergy. So who are you going to check in with each day with your plan, with your goals? Have a schedule, measure it, put a time and when you're going to do it. You guys got this. You guys got this. If you want more content, guys, I have a new online course right now. It's on sale. If you sign up before May 9th, you're going to save hundreds of dollars on my online course, Teaching Mental Toughness. So I'm going to teach you the same mental skills I teach college programs across the country. You can use your laptop, your phone, and I can't wait to guide you on this journey of being your best. So don't just train your body, you got to train your mind too. And here's my information. If you want some more content, I have a podcast, Master Your Mindset Podcast. You can follow me on Instagram. I post content there. I have a website. All my books are on Amazon. But just know I love you guys. And why not you? Why not us? Why not now?
Collin, man, I appreciate that. Words of wisdom, man. That was so much insight as it relates to the mental aspect of the game, particularly for baseball, right? It's something that I think we don't really comprehend the aspect that baseball is a game of failure. And you will fail more times you will have success, but it's how you frame it, right? It's how you frame your failing that allows you to continue to move forward, right? And not allowing that 1 minute to shape the outcome of the entire day. Or that one at bat, or those 3 at bats. Any at bat can shape not only just the day, it'll shape your entire season. It can shape your entire career for many.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, man. And if there's any questions, we want to take those now. If you have any, let us know. Put it in the chat feature. Other than that, you have access to Collin's information. You can visit him online, thecollinhenderson.com. That is Collin with 2 L's. He is on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn at Collin Henderson. And he also has a podcast, Master
TikTok. I am on TikTok.
You're on TikTok.
My game needs a lot of work, but I have posted some of my, a few videos. I'm trying to get with it a little
bit. That's a lot. So, Miles mentioned, thanks, Collin. You've made you made a difference with my life in baseball with the first time you talked to me. I think that was the last time you spoke. So, Miles, thank you for your comments to Collin. I'm sure you'll be connected. And I think, Miles, we got a book for you. So I'll
get there are 2 people. Yeah, I think Miles and one more person. I'm going to send you guys those challenges that we got. A few people chiming in. I'm happy to send a book.
That'll work. We'll definitely.
So if you can send me your email address, or send Buki or Liz your email address, I'll make sure that I get you a book.
Yep, we'll get it to you. So again, Collin, thank you so much, man, for sharing your words of wisdom around winning the weight, the 3 P's of resilience. That is perspective, priorities, and process. For more information on Master Your Mindset, as I said, you can visit www.thecollinhenderson.com. Be sure to complete the survey at the end of the webinar that will pop up on your screen. You can also find the survey link in the chat feature on Facebook Live. We ask you to join us next Wednesday. I have another good friend, May 6th, as we talk to Jed Collins, former NFL player, to share wisdom on financial literacy and to talk all things money management. You don't want to miss out on that. It's important that you go ahead and count your coins now, or you'll be missing them later. That's just a reality. So stay connected to our social media platforms at BBB Inner City to stay up to date on future events. Make sure y'all stay safe, healthy, and hopeful, and practice those 3 P's of resilience. See you next week. Thanks for joining.
Let's win the weight. See you guys later.